Cool. Okay, let's start it then. So this is our 12th town hall. And I think we're all up to speed now with how things work. We have updates, which are sort of a brief overview of what happened the previous week. And then we have plans, which outline what we're going to do this current week. So I'll jump straight into the updates. So a couple of things that changed on the Notion page. So I have updated a few things on the Notion page. The first thing is the Algovera opportunities database. So this is on Notion. It's a section on Notion. Let me just see. It's under the Earn Track page. So in the Earn Track page, you'll see Algovera opportunities, and if you click onto the opportunities, it's a database of all the current paid opportunities that are in Algovera. It's just the context behind it is that we think over time there's going to be much more opportunities for people to earn a living and earn an income out of Algovera, and we want to condense this all into a nice format for easier organization for people to find different opportunities that they're interested in. And so the Algovera opportunities database is trying to address this. So again, if there's any question about any of these, feel free to jump in and can give any answers regarding the questions. And then the second thing is the Algovera contribute board. So this one is under contribute track in Notion. So if you go into the contribute track, then you'll see a bit of information about how to register your interest in contributing. And then there's also a board which kind of outlines the different opportunities to contribute and the link to register for that. So this is sort of for people that are looking to volunteer in helping out the decentralized AI movement in Algovera. It's a way of giving people the opportunity to contribute, and also means that we as Algovera get a lot more work done in the process. The other thing that's changed in Notion is that we're going to be giving each individual squads their own subsection in Notion. So if you go onto the homepage and then the squads, you'll see a list of... Oh, yeah. So let me share my screen. Okay. Let me share my screen. Okay, so can you see that?
Yep.
Cool, awesome. Okay, so again, each squad is going to have its own little subsection. So, for example, if you go on to this section, this individual page will be the healthcare squads section, and they can edit this page in whatever way they like, and we've given access to the members in the healthcare squad to do so. I'll just briefly go back into the homepage here, and then just show the opportunities board. So the opportunities board is here. So right now we have a couple of things up, and some are closed, and then some are coming soon. But over time, this will be much more. We'll have a lot more things for people to apply for and search and register their interest for. The contribute track that I was mentioning earlier is this. Again, this is the board that you can look at the things that are live and that you can contribute to. So that's all the things from Notion, I believe. Yeah, that's all the things from Notion. So
just on the squads page, this is something like a proof of concept for what our DAO framework might look like. So like in the long run, each squad is going to be a DAO, and we'll have some sort of web app to look at, all of the different squads, maybe, what their treasury is, maybe any votes they held and other information like that. And so this is just a way of us kind of creating that page without actually creating the web app. And so, yeah, it would be cool if teams could kind of think of this as their like their homepage on a DAO framework and design it accordingly.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll stop sharing now because I think I'm done with the Notion aspects of the updates. So yeah, I'll put in the link to the tracks that we've updated. So this is on the Docs website. So the reason that we have tracks is that I think it could be quite it can be quite overwhelming for somebody new coming into the community to navigate like the different purpose they can provide value to in Algovera and the different ways that they can provide value. And tracks is sort of a guide to how people might want to use Algovera and how they might derive value from Algovera. So we have set up a number of tracks, and then we're hoping to update the create, earn, and join track, and this will be in the plans. So yeah, that's going to be next week. Then the freelance project. So we're just talking about this. We've said we've shortlisted the number of candidates that we think are suitable, and we've selected. Well, we're hoping to select by the end of today and confirm the person who will be doing the freelance project. We were also thinking, this is sort of touching on the plans a little bit on the Algovera Tournament, but I guess I can mention it now, is that we're hoping to have kick off the Algovera Tournament once we've the Algovera Freelance project for freelance finished. So we'll kick the tournament off once the freelance is finished, and we'll need to confirm this with Alonso. So that's something that we can talk more about on the plans if we need to, or Richard can jump in if there's more information that needs to be given.
I was just going to add, the reason that we did this was because everything is open source, and so the tournament prize is less than what the freelancers get. It's like $500, but like the best thing for a freelancer to do, so the target is to create the best performing model, right? And since everything is open source, it would be the most efficient for the tournament competitors to wait till the freelance projects had like finished all of their work on the code, and then the people participating in the tournament could take that code and, you know, like improve it to get the best performing model. And so there was kind of an incentive at the moment for the tournament participants to like wait as late as possible, which didn't really make sense. And so that's why we're hoping we can kick off the tournament as soon as the freelance project has completed.
Yeah, great. And then while you also have the mic there, do you want to give a little bit of an update on the DeFi hacking session and the storage pod?
Sure, yes. So the DeFi hacking session is going really well. Actually, Archie, who's on the call here, has been doing a really good job with the forecasting models, and also Jakob has been working on them as well. And so I think I said before, I might have said this last week, but the issue was that we were getting unrealistically good performance previously, and now we're getting more realistic performance, which you know, suggests that there's no bugs in the code and stuff like that. And so we're getting to the point where we're starting to talk about applications. And so we were asking, you know, the Greg and some of the other people who know the application really well, like how long into the future do you want to predict? Like if we could predict well an hour and a half into the future, what does that mean for the application? Does that give us an advantage or something like that? And so I think the DeFi team, in their proposal for Algovera grants, they listed like 3 different applications. And so what I was saying to them is it would be great to dig into those applications a bit more and see what the requirements are. Like how long would we need to predict into the future to be successful in these applications and stuff like that. So that's one side. I think also Jakob and maybe Archie were continuing to improve the models and stuff like that. But we're at the point where the models are working pretty well, and it would just be great to start to dig into the results. And so, you know, see predictions, like what's the predicted borrowing rate versus what's the actual borrowing rate, and like view these on graphs and stuff like that, and just really start to go through the results together and see exactly what we have. And one other side of that as well was that, you know, we're predicting quite well to a high, the error is like reasonably low, but we don't know in what cases it works and in what cases it doesn't work. So for example, I was saying in the hacking session, if a line is like, when the borrowing rate is increasing kind of gradually, it's very easy for the model to predict, okay, it's going to increase again at the next time step. But how well does it change when that kind of trend breaks? And, you know, if there's a sudden reversal of the trend and stuff like that. And so we haven't created a baseline, for example, where, you know, a good baseline would be a really simple algorithm that says, what was the increase in the last time step? And I'll predict that same thing to happen again. If that makes sense. We need to create better baselines and also like look at cases where the model is doing well and failing, basically. So that's the DeFi hacking session. Storage pods, we met again and kind of synced. And the goal there is to put in a grant proposal for Filecoin at the moment. And so I've been on the Filecoin Slack and trying to figure out what's the best way. So we know that we want to create IPFS spec, for example, which would mean that we can integrate with Hugging Face. It's actually a bit more complicated than we thought, potentially. And then even more complicated to integrate Filecoin. So how can we enable Hugging Face users and other FS spec users to use Filecoin and not just IPFS? And so we're talking to some of the people who have like created FS spec and stuff. And it's all quite complicated, I suppose, and there's lots to get up to speed with. But hopefully we can understand enough like soon that we can put in a grant proposal, because like often the first deliverable for a grant proposal is to map out the problem for the first month and stuff like that. So yeah, we're kind of learning lots, talking to lots of different stakeholders like the creators of FS spec and stuff, and hopefully we'll know enough soon to put in and start like funding work on the storage.
Great, thanks for the update there, Richard. So those are all the things on the updates. Is there anything else that we would want to give an update on? Maybe the design challenge, Richard?
Yeah, I was going to say, do you have it handy there? I'd like to share your screen.
Just get it up. Let me just get it up. It's actually quite good.
Yeah, so just to give some context for those who don't know, Algovera sponsored a bounty in the Ocean India hackathon, which was run by Prakash. And our bounty was a design bounty where we asked someone to come up with a new concept for the Ocean marketplace. So basically a front end. And there was only one entry to the design challenge, but it was a good entry. And so it was also someone who's like been in our community for a while, Arpit. And Arpit worked, Arpit and Prakash entered another hackathon a while ago, and Arpit is a designer and also put in an application for an Algovera grant as well it was the decentralized social application. And so Arpit basically put together an entry for the marketplace, and it's pretty cool. It's got, I think he watched some of the marketplace pods as well. Where last week we talked about, you know, like profiles, for example. Yeah, so here's the like main part. You can look at the data sets. There's also like profiles for each of the different authors. There's also algorithms. And this is like a clickable thing, so you can click on. What's interesting is the profiles, for example, if you go up to like the authors. Well, this is the data sets page. If you can see like a data set preview, which is pretty cool. Then if you go all the way back to the main page, you can click on authors as well. Oh, this is create. I just press back a lot of times. That's oh yeah, this is cool.
Okay, let me see. Authors.
Click on authors. You can see all the different authors, and then you can click on one of them. I think it's up there. This one here. And then you can like see the Algovera author and all of the different stuff they've created, like data sets, algorithms and stuff, which is pretty cool. So this is what we were talking about in the marketplace pods, which Arpit watched and included, which is great.
Yeah, again, like this is a very first sort of draft pass, first pass at the marketplace design, and we're sort of saying that we can present this to the marketplace pod and get their feedback and iterate this process so that whatever the marketplace pod members are discussing, we can visualize and conceptualize all of this, and then once we have a good idea of the design, we can just translate the design into code. And so I think this is a good way of working.
Yeah, I think it's a great start. And also we were saying we want to try and get Arpit more involved in the marketplace pod, which would be great. It's great to have some designers in the community. It's probably one of the sides that we're light on. So yeah, so thanks to Arpit for the entry. And yeah, I guess we'll reach out to him in the next few days.
Great. Let me go back into the agenda. I think the next thing is the tournament. Yeah, so could briefly mention that we'll kick off the tournament once the freelance project is finished, and we'll also release, I guess, a blog post outlining the process in a bit more detail over the coming weeks. I guess once the freelance project is done. What else?
Ocean very quickly as well.
Oh yes.
So it's that time again, the nerve-wracking time. The Ocean deadline is tonight at midnight GMT, and so we're currently in the partial funding category, but I think we're only like $700 short of our full amount. So at the moment it looks good, but like anything can happen, and so this is a really tight round. But we're still in the running. And so I guess we'll find out tomorrow if we get that next month of funding. But yeah, like I guess at the same time, we've also been talking recently about diversifying funding. We're probably too reliant on Ocean. And so we're doing a big push for different funding sources at the moment, which includes Filecoin, like I already mentioned. Also, I've been talking to Near Protocol. And I know if Maria watches this back, she keeps talking about Near Protocol and stuff, so she'll be happy to hear that. But Near is a really interesting ecosystem. They have many DAOs. They're like a DAO of DAOs almost. And so yeah, we're really interested to explore what our squad framework would look like on the Near Protocol platform, for example. And even I spoke to James, who's the one of the community managers there, and yeah, I was telling him about some of the problems that we had with, publishing assets through DAOs and stuff, and he suggested a few different ideas in Near that could potentially solve that. So I think, yeah, if we can, get some funding to explore what a squad framework would look like in the Near Protocol ecosystem, I think that would be really, really interesting. And they're like a growing community, really enthusiastic. I just get really, really good vibes off Near. So I'm really excited about that one as well. But in the short term, fingers crossed for Ocean. We still want to be like a part of the Ocean ecosystem. That's where we came from and stuff. But just with like big cutbacks, we can't really grow anymore in the Ocean ecosystem. So to continue to grow, we need to branch out and get more funding and like build in different ecosystems and stuff like that.
Cool. Have I missed anything out in the updates before I dive into the plans? I think those are the things that we said we'll mention. Cool. So we've reached out to all the winners of the Algovera grant and outlined the process. We're going to be creating the DAOs this week and transferring the funds. This week as well. So that's one thing that we have to do for this week. Another thing is that we'll be launching a reputation pod. So the reputation pod is to sort of formalize the existing things that we are doing to track reputation and contribution, like source cred, but also thinking about more ways and how to track the contribution and value provided by the community. As the community gets larger and larger, it'll be really important to like track the different contributions from different people, and formalizing that in some way would be really important. So we'll be launching this pod. Maybe there's like spot for two people outside the core team to also join the reputation pod. If anybody is interested, do get in touch with us, and then we can see we can see if we can fit you into the pod and sort of outline the goals and etc. So if anybody is interested, do get in touch with us. But again, the goal is to formalize the reputation system within Algovera. The next thing is the create, earn, and join track. Keaton had been working a little bit on the documentation, and we're hoping to finish that off by this week. Would that be achievable, Keaton, you think?
Yep, that's the plan for this week. Definitely will want to continue taking feedback on it, but yeah, we should have docs up on the doc site by the end of this week for those tracks.
Sweet, awesome, that's great. Then let me see. Yes, so I think you've also mentioned, Richard, the plan for the hacking session. So I don't know if there's anything else to add there. Probably not, right?
Probably not, yeah. But I guess we didn't mention the face anonymization.
Oh yes,
as well. Just thinking about now. So yeah, again, Archie did some really good work on the face anonymization. Made a good start at some of the different algorithms and stuff like that. And so I think, like I was saying to Robin last week, one of the big priorities is to get some sample data from the data union data set so we can test some different models on that. So yeah, I think hopefully we can get working on that soon as well. And I think Pushkar or Common Man on our Discord was also asking for access to push some stuff to the repo. So yeah, there's like some people working on the face anonymization, which has just started, and yeah, I think that's a really exciting project as well. So that should be good to continue.
Great. So I think that's everything in terms of the agenda that we had in place. I don't know if anybody else wants to ask anything or update anything. I can't think of anything else. Yeah, I think that's everything.
Like I was chatting to Alex Tosi, one of the grants recipients, and they've made really good progress on the project for the virtual object detector. And so I think one of the main things that needs to be done still is like the documentation. And after that's done, hopefully they can share and like we can, test it out and try take some images from the internet and like train some models with it and all that sort of stuff. I think that would be really cool to test out. And then also the other thing is to publish it on Ocean as an algorithm and stuff like that. That's still another deliverable that has to be done, but seems like really good progress with that already, which is great. So look forward to sharing that with the community and yeah, letting people play around with it.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so that's I think that's probably a wrap on today's town hall. We'll send out the newsletter containing most of the information in the town hall as well. So anybody who wants to catch up on the on what's happening in Algovera through written communication, they can always sign up for the newsletter. Again, the link for signing up to the newsletter is on the Notion as well. So yeah, I think that's everything for this week. Thanks everyone for joining. Bye-bye.
Thanks everyone.
Thanks folks.
And thanks Archie. Chat to you soon.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.